Over the last year, we have seen some massive box office failures for Warner Brothers when it comes to their DC movies. Even before James Gunn announced that he was taking over and rebooting the universe, you saw Black Adam lose over $100 million. Shazam 2, another disaster, over $100 million loss. And then the biggest one of them all, The Flash, one of the biggest flops we've seen of all time. Well, now it looks like there's one more on the way, and that is Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle's box office projections look like an absolute disaster. Potentially might be the worst opening in DCEU history. But even so, even with all this bad press leading up to it, the fact that no one seems interested in this movie, James Gunn made a very big statement before the release. He said, you know what? Zola Maradueño's Jaime Reyes, that's the first character in my new DCU. He will have a part to play in the DCU going forward. Suddenly, maybe with the bad box office projections, all of that is changing because now even Zola Maradueña is singing a different tune. Blue Beetle star Zola Maradueña puts brakes on character joining James Gunn's DCU, says the film needs to perform at the box office now. And when you look at some of these projections, it does not look good. This article is from a week or two ago. We've got some updated numbers, but those updates are not very positive. The analyst projects Blue Beetle will open in a range of $12 to $17 million domestically, leading to a total gross of between $27 and $55 million when it's all said and done. Now, I do have some big updates for you guys. There's been an increase on those projections. From 12 to 17 million, it's gone up to 13 to 18 million. If it falls in that range, it will be the worst opening in DCU box office history. This has a budget that's comparable to Shazam 2. Shazam 2 was 125 million. This movie reportedly at 120 million. It's set to open at half of what Shazam 2 opened at, and that movie ended up losing them over $100 million at the box office. It is all bad news, and now it looks like they're desperately trying to convince people that if you want to see more of Jaime Reyes, you have to go support this movie, otherwise it's done. James Gunn's DC reboot will bring back Blue Beetle on one condition. The one condition for more Blue Beetle. In a Fandango interview, which of course was conducted before the strike, although Zola Maradueña did have his girlfriend, I think, post promo pictures to get out of all the union rules during the strike. Wonder if he's going to get any backlash for that. The Blue Beetle star explained the one thing needed for his character to continue is for audiences to show up. I've had the pleasure of getting to speak with Mr. James Gunn and the whole DC fam, and you know, at the end of the day, I think first, we have to cross this hill, right? And introduce Jaime to the world. But I think it's up to the audience to watch the movie. It's up to everyone to show up for this movie, and it's so wonderful that we'll get to make more movies like this. If it does well, we'll get to open more doors for more Blue Beetles, and not just the people up here, but we've got a whole thing set up. So many Beetles from so many comics to choose from, and it's when we're super appreciative of DC took the first swing at the live-action Latino superhero movie, so we're ready to do it again if the crowd wants it. All of a sudden, there's all these restrictions being put in place. Now, personally, I think it would be retarded for James Gunn to just sign, yep, no problem, we're going to have you, and you have no idea how it's going to perform. This could be the biggest DC flop we've ever seen. It could be the worst performing at the box office we have ever seen. So I'm not surprised that they're not ready to necessarily just cut a check and say, no, you're good to go. I like Zola Maradueña and Cobra Kai. No idea if I like him as Jaime Reyes. I do know I despise the director. This is the director, if you guys remember. Angel Manuel Soto is the guy not only who wished for the assassination of Donald Trump multiple times, is a massive woke SJW, wanted to make this entire movie just to show that Latinos can be superheroes too, as if we've never seen that before. So I don't know. It's fucking wild. But this is the dude who decided that he was happy when fans were pissed off, specifically reacting to a video of mine about the Batman is fascist line. He said, my job here is done. When people were happy and they were celebrating that this movie pissed off the right people, he doubled down. He was happy that fans were upset. He was glad that fans were pissed off until he came crawling back and begging for people to watch this movie because he knows it's going to be a massive flop. So now I went from rooting for this movie to rooting very much against this movie. Time will tell. But right now, when you look at these box office projections, when you look at what the stars are coming out and saying, saying, contra what James Gunn said before, that now they need to actually show up. They need to have a successful box office for this to continue. It certainly looks like even internally, they know that this thing is set for box office disaster. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.